After weeks of speculation, Aaron Rodgers officially announced his plans to play in New York next season. Right now, plans to play. He was on Pat McAfee Show yesterday, and Rodgers' announcement has to be a huge sigh of relief for you Jets fans because the quarterback market dried up. I don't know what plan B would have been. Might have been Ryan Tannehill, maybe Matt Stafford, maybe Lamar Jackson, but he's now in the AFC. And it's going to be a tougher ride, maybe making the playoffs and being a Super Bowl contender. Did talk to a former coach yesterday, and he said he looks at the Jets. I said, where do you put them? It's sort of the power structure here. Where are they as far as Kansas City is 1? And then he goes, I like the Jets at 2. I said, okay, young team, no playoff experience, bringing in Aaron Rodgers. You know, it could be spectacular or it could go spectacularly bad. But he liked the Jets as the second best team in the AFC. And I said, well, can't hurt but to help, or can't help but to help the one of the worst offenses in the NFL. They were 29th in the NFL. So he'll help that a lot. The receivers that he has, that he's bringing in, wants to bring in, we'll get to that topic in a moment here. But you bring in a quarterback, big-time quarterback, doesn't always go your way. Just ask Denver and Cleveland with what happened last year. But Rodgers embracing the young receiving core with the Jets is very important because that didn't happen with Green Bay. New York has a little ways to go here, but there's certainly a lot of building blocks. And if you're a Jets fan, you haven't been this excited well, maybe you haven't been this excited. Depending on how old you are, you probably, maybe Brett Favre, you were excited, maybe. But I would say you probably have to go back to Joe Willie. Maybe Mark Sanchez when they went to those AFC title games. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say they had a little momentum with Rex Ryan there for a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
There were things happening.
All right. One of the big topics yesterday on the Pat McAfee Show was the idea of having a list, that Aaron Rodgers had a wish list. And it was widely reported that, he had a list of players that he was interested in bringing in. And this is Aaron talking about that topic.
From what I've seen, it's like I had a sheet of paper when I met with the Jets and I said, sign these people. And that's not the reality. That's so ridiculous.
All right, that sounds good.
It's so stupid to think that I would do it, number one. Now, did they ask me about certain guys that I played with over years? Of course. Did I talk glowingly about teammates that I love? Yeah.
Okay. Now, it sounds like, and maybe this is just semantics, that Rodgers was demanding. And we had Diana Rossini, who is the one who broke the story. We had her on yesterday, and we talked about that. I said, is this a demand list or a wish list? And she said it's a wish list. But this is not uncommon. When Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay, I'm guaranteed that Tom said, I like these guys. Hey, you know what? That defensive back or defensive lineman always gave me trouble. Hey, if we can get that offensive lineman, this happens. Why wouldn't you use Aaron Rodgers' Rolodex? Why wouldn't you say to him, who do you want? And these are all free agents. Now, Randall Cobb and Mercedes Lewis, I don't think they help the Jets. Alan Lazard is a legitimate number 2 receiver right now and was the de facto number 1 receiver for the Packers last year. OBJ, sure. At what price? $20 million? Do you still want him? And then Diana Rossini also said, these were just the names I reported. There were other names on the list. So to be fair to Diana Rossini, this is my question, her answer about this topic yesterday on the show.
Oh, it is a wish list, right? And it's smart business from Aaron Rodgers. He's got all the leverage in the world right now. And look, he said to the Jets, here are some guys I want to play with. Take a look into this. See if you can get them. Nathaniel Hackett has familiarity with a lot of these guys as well. We could use some veteran leadership in New York as well, with most, the core of the Jets being pretty young at this point. So I think it's one of those things where people see a wish list and they immediately think that means I must have. Not all wishes come true, right? So I equate it to my Amazon wish list. That thing's packed. I'm not getting all of that stuff, though, I send it to my husband all the time, but he doesn't buy half of it.
Okay, so this is Aaron's interpretation, and Diana is saying, look, he's just throwing out these names. It's not a demand list. Yes,
I don't think the problem is Diana Rossini's reporting. The problem is the way people are talking about her report.
Yes.
That's her talking of there's a piece of paper and there's some names on there and these are the guys that he would like to play with.
Yeah.
People are taking that as like these are a list of his demands, and that's the way people are speaking about it when obviously that's not what the intent was.
Yes, it's been framed incorrectly by the media.
Right.
Because it's certainly a juicier story if Aaron Rodgers has to have these players on the Jets roster. Yes,
but now she's getting called out by name.
Yeah.
Because other people are speaking about it poorly. It's a tough hat to wear sometimes, but now, she's got to lose Aaron Rodgers number 2, just like Schefter.
Yeah, well, here is Aaron when Shefty reached out to the quarterback.
Ask Schefter would I text him when he somehow got my number and texted me. I didn't respond to Diana Rossini, I think her name is, but I would say the same thing that I told Sheffy. Lose my number. I'll speak for myself.
Okay. Aaron harps on fake news all the time. Adam Schefter is at least trying to get the right information here.
Yeah, now he is?
Well, I think he's tried to get it from Rodgers. Rodgers, that's why I said, for how long? Go back to last year's draft. Shefty had no contact, no information with Aaron Rodgers because Rodgers had a real small circle. I'm interested to hear Rodgers. Who leaked this information to Diana Rossini from the Jets to talk about the wish list? That's what I would like to know. Because Aaron wants transparency. It didn't last long. Jets have already leaked this. Here's a wish list that he had for us. And I applaud Shefty for at least trying. I know he was shut down. And Diana Rossini trying, but shut down. I had no problem with that. And I know people go, oh, and Rodgers owned Adam Schefter. I'm like, no, he didn't. Shefty tried. Yes, he.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that you bring up. What if you're Aaron Rodgers? Are you looking at the Jets now, being like, "What the hell? What are you doing?"
I would have said that. Wait a minute. I don't know who leaked this. Well, who did leak this? It wasn't the Packers.
It wasn't Aaron Rodgers.
It wasn't Aaron Rodgers. So who gave it to Diana Rossini?
Right. I mean, it's so obvious.
And who from the Jets gave it, to Trey Wingo? Yeah. I mean.
Got a couple leaks in the dam there.
Already. We're taking on water here. Oh,
not even on the team yet.
No, not yet.
Already all the dirty laundry.
And I thought he was going to retire. But I thought he was going to retire, and I cannot sit here and say I had a source that's close to Aaron Rodgers. I had somebody who's played in the league and knows Aaron, but knew nothing of what he was going to do. And he said, don't be surprised if he retires. So when we went around the room making the prediction, my prediction was he was going to retire. Here is Aaron going into darkness.
I got to admit, I went into darkness, 90% retiring, 10% playing. That's where my mind was. My mind was, I'm tired of this. I hadn't got back into my workouts yet. And I thought that was what was best for me.
Okay. And he said, look, there's a lot of guys as you get older that you don't know if you want to play again. And, I guess you can make a comparison to childbirth. You're like, never again. And then you go, wasn't that bad. All right, I think I could come back. I'm feeling okay. Let me come back and play again. And he got the sense that the Packers were moving on. That's why it was either retirement or the Jets.
It is what it is. The Packers would like to move on. They've let me know that in so many words. They've let other people know that in direct words. And because I still have that fire and I want to play and I would like to play in New York, it's just a matter of, getting that done at this point.
Okay, how could you judge his fire if he's 90% retired? What was it, a little flame? I mean, it wasn't a 5-alarm fire here. Hey, it's still burning. Okay. I mean, the Packers were going to move on. They didn't disrespect you. They did give you, $150 million. It was, we're done with the drama here. We got to move on at some point because we don't know, how long do you want to play? Do you really want to be here? Are you all in? Will you help the young receivers? And then he had this to say about his conversations with the Packers.
It was clear to me at that point that although the Packers were going to say the right thing publicly, that they were ready to move on. And again, I don't know what changed that or what moved that. If they just said, hey, we need to make a decision here because he hasn't made a decision yet. Again, there's no victims here. I'm not sitting here as a victim. I love Green Bay. I love the fan base. They're incredible. I live for playing for them and for Lambeau.
Hell yeah.
A lot of love for the organization. I just think I wish that in the beginning of the offseason, that had been the conversation.
Okay. My favorite part of the interview, absolute favorite part of the interview, was McAfee going, hell yeah. That's it. Because everything else was he gave Aaron a platform and let him talk, which that's what you need to do. Just have a couple of follow-up questions, which he did in pressing Rodgers, maybe wanting to go to Las Vegas. And it goes back to what I told you, right after the season ended, that Vegas wanted Jimmy Garoppolo, not Tom Brady, not Aaron Rodgers. They wanted Jimmy Garoppolo. And that's why Rodgers wanted to reunite with Davante Adams. And he did hint about playing with Davante Adams. And in case you're wondering, and I know you are, DraftKings already has odds out here. What do you think the over-under is, Jets victories this year? Regular season wins, over-under. Todd, I'll start with you.
10.5.
Seton.
I'm going to say 11.
All right. Marv?
10.5.
Paulie?
10.
9.5. That's surprising to me. They're screaming for you to take the over. Screaming. Like 9.5. Of course he can get.
That's two more wins?
Yeah.
That's what he's worth?
Okay. Over under touchdown passes, Aaron Rodgers this year, according to DraftKings. Fritzy?
33.
Seton?
29.
All right. Marv?
31.5.
Blue.
Nice.
Let's go.
Yeah, you did it. So the odds for the Jets went from plus 2,400 to plus 1,400 to win the Super Bowl following the announcement. Yes, Paul.
One thing Rodgers spent a lot of time on yesterday was talking about that this has not been held up by me. It's been held up because the Packers and the Jets are negotiating a trade. He said he told everybody Friday, but they'll still work on it. It's almost like he was lobbying the Packers to do the right thing. I think he actually said that.
Yes, he did.
And let's move on. Make a fair trade where everybody wins. And, because he wants to get this going. But if you look at the Packers, they don't have any incentive to accept a deal early because the longer it goes on, to the point, there's some day in June, I think it's like June 12th. If he's traded after June 12th, they save millions of dollars on the cap. Yeah. I doubt it's going to go that long, but what do they care?
Yeah.
I don't know who has negotiating.
Well, I
here.
wondered, I said this yesterday, I thought the Packers had all the leverage because Rodgers, Alan Lazard's there, Nathaniel Hackett's there, maybe I get some of these other guys there. If I'm Green Bay, I'm going, okay, yeah, sounds good. All right. We'd like 2 first-round picks. That's what the Rams gave up for Matthew Stafford. And they gave up a quarterback as well. And we, a couple of first-round draft picks would be fine. Now, I wouldn't want to give that up if I'm the Jets, but if I'm Green Bay, it feels like Green Bay's got a little leverage here. I don't know how much, unless Rodgers go, okay, you know what? I'm coming back. I'm coming back to Green Bay. He did have nice things to say, and I did bring this up yesterday. I hope he learned from LeBron, because when LeBron had the decision, he did not spend a lot of time complimenting Cleveland. It was about going to South Beach. Rodgers did a wonderful job in complimenting the great people in Green Bay, those great fans. He wasn't going to talk about the Jets because he's not a member of the Jets yet. And I thought it was great. You know what? You had more than half your life, you're there in Green Bay with those people. Everybody, equipment guys, weight room guys, and, everybody. That was great. And he needed to do that. And I thought he did the right thing in saying goodbye.